Hey guys, and welcome to another brand new video. In this video, we actually have some pretty intriguing stuff coming out over here when it comes to the PlayStation CEO himself, Jim Ryan, who actually had a chance to go and speak on the future of the PlayStation 5, with both actually really good news and also very kind of, well, in the middle tier news as well. Something is in regards now to the brand new exclusivity of all the PlayStation 5 games, whether or not they're going to want to keep on pushing towards moving stuff to PC, which actually might be a little bit of a bad news, although for me, I have a PlayStation 5, and I'm sure a lot of you guys do too as well, so it may not be the worst. But I'm also a PC guy myself, and, well, I want to talk about that big drama, and let's just go talk about overall everything that Jim Ryan himself has said, because he said a lot of pretty good, juicy stuff. So make sure you guys are subscribed, notifications on. We have the Twitter and Twitch room down below. If you guys are bored, go swing on the Twitch itself. Link down below to the video. Amazon links for all the consoles too, and let's go dive into the video itself. So as you guys do or do not know, Jim Ryan actually has been in the news at least a little decent bit when it does come to the console, when it comes to PlayStation, and as well, there was a lot of also side stuff included from the Xbox acquisition, where there was a lot of like underground meetings, commentary, shade being thrown back and forth, and of course as well a lot of regulatory people making comments on the future of the PlayStation, future of the consoles, what is a monopoly, what is not, exclusivities, and everything else in between. So obviously now with a lot of this kind of somewhat mulling over, like it's still kind of in the midst of it, but probably a little bit of a temporary break when it comes to the Xbox acquisitions, we can now get to go and see people go and talk, do media tours and all of that. That's pretty much exactly what the PlayStation CEO Jim Ryan did, where we actually are now getting some pretty big news over here, stating that Sony is sticking to its current PC strategy right now for the PS5 exclusives, and as well, we are increasing the number of PlayStation 5 exclusive games and then staggering the release of the PC version. So we're going to break this down a little bit more throughout the article. This can kind of be good, kind of be bad. I kind of almost want to lean this towards bad, at least in my opinion. So Sony is taking PS5 exclusivity for its first-party titles very seriously. PlayStation CEO Jim Ryan says the company is sticking to its guns with its current strategy of not launching PC versions of its game on day one. Now, this is where I really actually want to hear your thoughts and opinions on this one, because for me, like I said, I'm a PC guy myself. I do play most of my stuff on PC. I got my PS5 for exclusives, and I do enjoy my console on occasion. I'm playing some chill games or whatever it might be. Definitely some games play better on console. But for this, I'm kind of indifferent, because I know right now there's been a lot of kind of back and forth. So if you guys kind of go look at Steam, we had a chance to go check out a lot of the other various newest releases when it comes to things like, well, say Spider-Man. Like Spider-Man actually was released not too long ago. You guys can see August 12th, 2022. And of course, it had hugely good reviews. Overwhelmingly positive with 44,000 views. Recent reviews have been very positive too as well. And of course, on top of this is just a big game. Like, especially even for a PC and for a game that's been out for quite some time, and the remastered version as well, it kind of just goes to showing how, well, good this is. Like, I think this is phenomenal. I think this is actually very great. And most other PlayStation games that have actually been ported over to PC, besides a few, The Last of Us did have some pretty big drama on it, but a lot of other games such as like Days Gone or God of War, a lot of these games have done very well. Like, they've done extremely well, in fact, where PC people basically make it like a #1 trending game, #1 rated game, and as well, unless they really messed up, which has happened before in other prior games, it usually has a very good positive rating. I like this. I like seeing this. I basically like the idea of knowing that PlayStation games will end up on PC. And I do think a lot of people in the PC market itself will be in the same exact boat because they like the idea of, well, playing Sony games. It's kind of like for Xbox. We have Game Pass already. So any Xbox game will be able to go play day one on, well, PC. And so far, everyone kind of does like it. Although the one big caveat is it does take a very long time for these games to go and show up, and I think that's the big drama here. So in a recent interview with Famitsu, Ryan dismissed the idea of releasing PC version of PS5 exclusive games, such as God of War Ragnarok, on the same day they launch in PS5 proper, saying that porting them to PC 2 or 3 years after the fact hasn't working out well for Sony. Now, I don't want to say anything bad about that. Like, I think for the console, it's great because it does incentivize people who buy a PlayStation 5, and it also does kind of reward anyone who does have a console. They basically get to go play these really good Sony exclusive games that they're known for a little bit earlier than anyone on PC, and they have a chance to basically go and enjoy their ride, which I can understand the marketing on that. You want to sell consoles, make money on consoles, make money off PlayStation Plus, have an active PlayStation player base, and ideally, those people would also go and download games like an Overwatch or Call of Duty or any of like a Fortnite, and of course have microtransactions or play games like Destiny or whatever it might be, because if you can stick people on your console and they're spending money in your ecosystem rather than, say, buying it on PC, probably better for a console. He says, we also fully understand the importance of the PS5 exclusive titles. As I mentioned earlier, PlayStation Studios' main responsibility is to make games for the latest PlayStation hardware that players will enjoy. We are increasing the number of PS5 exclusive games and staggering the release of the PC versions. Ryan said in a quote translated by IGN Japan, which is great. Like, we like seeing the more better games, and as well, we like seeing more of them on console. He added, I often have the opportunity to ask game fans for their opinions. When I ask them how they feel about the time lag, they often say they feel the release of a PC version 2 or 3 years after the release of a PlayStation version is acceptable. Now, I want to be a contrarian, well, I'd say probably not. Like, I actually like them if they could be quick. Give me a year. How about a year? Because by that time, if you want your console, you're probably going to buy your game, maybe even a year and a half. But give me, like, I feel like a solid 1 year is good. Because the game will still be relevant, people will still be talking about it, people will be excited for it, and of course as well that also, well, might be good for some folks, because that just means you don't have to wait as long for 2 to 3 years for a certain game, and as well, you have to wait for it to be announced and highlight and everything else in between. So Sony's PC port track record is uneven. So Sony ported Horizon Zero Dawn over the PC in 2020, 3 years after it released on the PS4, making it the first PlayStation to make a crossover to the platform itself. The company was previously against PC releases, preferring to stick to consoles, although I'm sure they realized how much money they printed, how much money they made, and everything else in between. And they probably kept rolling with it. So in 2021, Ryan said Sony planned to port more of its console games to PC, starting with Days Gone, because its ease of making them available to non-console owners has grown. I often have the opportunity, we just kind of read that, for basically saying that they're okay with the long-term side, but I don't like that. I think I prefer it coming quicker and faster. And as well, it does kind of look very nice to go and see, because, well, I mean, at least we know it's good news. Like, I'm still going to say it's bad news because they're kind of sitting and defaulting on the 2 to 3 year cycle, but at least we kind of know it's still good that they do want to keep on incentivizing people to go and, well, buy the games first on console, which is nice for anyone who has a PS5, which I know a lot of you guys do, myself included, but as well as also kind of nice too that most games will probably come to PC at some point. So we don't have to go and have a second guessing game. So at some point, God of War Ragnarok will end up on PC, which I think is great. Or as well, the new Spider-Man at some point will end up on PC, as evident by us literally looking at the most recent Miles Morales and normal game to showing up over there. So I mean, it's like both good and good, both bad. Like, because we know games are coming, we know they're working really hard, we know that PlayStation Studios are going to hopefully make a lot more unique IPs, especially as you guys know, we're going to be probably watching the upcoming PlayStation Studio event too, I think in the next, on this upcoming Wednesday, so I'm excited for that one to go and hopefully see something good, fingers crossed. If not, I'm going to be sad, but at least it's kind of nice to see. So Xbox's head Phil Spencer has even criticized PlayStation for its staggered PC release schedule, and that is one really nice thing that we've always seen for Xbox, where Xbox does like to prioritize both Game Pass and PC users, and I'm pretty sure it actually might add a little bit more merit to the games themselves. Although Sony has a little bit of a nicer marketing structure, where basically they release it to a brand new audience, which does go drive a lot more hype and excitement after most people maybe forgot about the game or it's not in the current media cycle, and does let people make like YouTube videos or Twitch streams or even articles and reviews, and kind of give them a secondary push for their games, which is actually a little bit on the smarter side too as well. So basically for these ones too, these games are especially made for consoles, so they want to keep on pushing the console market. And Xbox is the only platform that releases games on console, PC, and cloud simultaneously, especially on Game Pass. And I do want to go to remind people, in my mind, that's good. Like, I like the idea of them both releasing games. I think that's something that I, as a PC user, would like, but it does make sense in why Nintendo. They want to sell consoles. They want to make all the money and not have to deal with paying like things like Steam or Origin or EA Access or whatever it might be, those additional fees or Epic Games or whatever it might be, and they want to make the money off the microtransactions. They want to make the money off the game and digital sales and the console sales and everything in between. I can actually respect that. I can kind of roll with that. And as well, it's kind of just a big thing to see. So however, porting first-party titles to PC is not without its challenges. When The Last of Us Part 1 released on this PC via Steam back in March, performance issues then crashes that were so severe that for many players that Naughty Dog apologized to them and promised to patch them up with an update. So, like, I don't know. I think as long as they do a good job, I think people are hyped up with it. But I saw a lot of folks that were upset. We made a few videos on The Last of Us 2 as well, when it was bad. And on top of that, too, I guess my only kind of major big critique is I just kind of wish they do it a little bit quicker. 2 to 3 years is a long time, like especially in the gaming sphere. Like think about like Spider-Man. Basically, Spider-Man 2 is about to come out soon, in theory, and we still barely have had Spider-Man out. Though, granted, this will give like a year or so to kind of let the game muster, and it only takes a few days to beat it, sure. But at the same time, I just kind of wish it came a little bit quicker. But at the end of the day, it's kind of nice to see that Jim Ryan is committing towards releasing stuff on PC, that Jim Ryan is still wanting to make a bunch of brand new games, and on top of that too, I mean, if it works for them, I guess it's cool, and maybe if they keep on making a lot of money, they might go and change their policies over time. I'm not really sure at the end of the day. I just kind of wish they'd, well, release games a little bit quicker on the PC side. So give me all your thoughts and comments down below. Would love to hear it. And as well, I'm excited for either way. And of course, we have a lot more gaming news, so make sure you guys are subscribed with the notifications on. We have the Twitter and Twitch room playing on Twitch if you guys are bored. Link down below. I have all the Amazon links for the consoles too as well. Leave your thoughts and comments down below. We'll see you guys all throughout this weekend for a bunch more videos. Love you guys all so much, and I appreciate you all so much for watching.